What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. They do have their earnings coming up. I want to go over some expectations, what the current estimates are, and just some general support and resistance points. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So at the time of doing this video, it is sitting at $9.57 over the last 6 months, up 66.43. And then over the last 1 month, it has pulled down quite a lot, down 35.11%. This is what they do right here. So the company profile, feel free to pause it and read through it, but you probably wouldn't be watching this video if you didn't know something about it already. But as far as expectations, 27th after hours, -8 cents for the earnings per share, 33.7 million for the revenue estimates, and then over the last 90 days, 0 positive and 1 negative revisions to the earnings per share. The earnings per share does work out to be -35.71% year over year for growth, -10 cents for the low, -8 cents for the high, based on 6 analysts. And even looking forward into the next couple of earnings, you don't see any likelihood of profitability coming, at least from an analyst standpoint. So of course, the company gives just the key metrics, so earnings per share, revenue, but one thing that the market is really caring about right now is future guidance. And that's going to be one thing, is profitability. Is it coming 2025, 2026? What does that actually look like? So again, analysts don't really see it coming up until probably 2026, 2027, but hearing it from the company itself. In addition to that, acquisitions. They recently did submit a S3. So what are they doing with that money? Is that just for operations, or do they have something planned down the line? So those are some of the things that future guidance will bring. But for the revenue, that does work out to be 96.52% year-over-year growth, 33.03 the low, 34.55 the high, based on 7 analysts. So at least when it comes down to the revenue, they are seeing good, at least for the next couple of quarters, anticipated triple-digit growth, and then the high doubles from, looks like, Q3 and Q4 2025. So those are some of the current estimates. As far as the implied move, 17.74%. So definitely a lot of volatility is anticipated. That works out to be almost like a $2 move in either direction. You have to factor in as well, it did go down quite a lot because of NVIDIA essentially selling out in Q4. So it was more of a delayed response because it didn't sell off up until it was announced. So potentially it might be unjust, but looking under this column right here, historically speaking, they do miss on roughly around 60% of their earnings, regardless of the results. And most of that is coming from failed future guidance, not necessarily, like I said, earnings per share or revenue, rather just the future guidance. That's what they miss on. So 60% likelihood of that occurring. As far as the options right now, there's a good consensus for it to be above $11 for the end of this Friday. So that would be encumbering the earnings. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 8. So definitely kind of within that $2 range in either direction for the most part. Shorts, let's go over shorts for a second. So on Wednesday, shorts did increase 3.4 million shares. 31.47% of the free flow is being shorted. Works out to be 103.59 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts have started to increase going into the earnings, which leads me to believe that they feel that it is going to be a miss. Again, you can kind of look at this a little bit deeper, and there could be a lot of other third party and just macro conditions as well that they might be doubling down on. But just for face value, how I interpret this is they shorts feel like it's going to be a miss. So let me know your general thoughts on that. SoundHound, I think when a lot of innovative companies such as SoundHound do unveil their earnings, one element that also does usually cause a lot of volatility is analysts. So analysts will be looking at SoundHound eventually in their multiple just to see if it's worth it as well. So over and above the key metrics, the future guidance is also going to be heavily scrutinized by Wall Street. So just be kind of aware of that. A lot of innovative companies such as Palantir has gone through that kind of struggle. So I anticipate SoundHound for that to occur as well. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Do you own it? Do you sell it? Have you been dabbling with options? What's your overall thoughts on all of that? It actually just got a $10 analyst rating on a side note. So once again, post earnings could see some additional maybe ratings coming out and everything else that you need to know. So with all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat, talking about stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them, definitely a lot of good individuals, and there to educate. So link to that is in the description below and also comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.